What's going on, everybody? It's Merk here, and today I'm going to be bringing you all my first Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle. This is against a cool dude named Berk. He is a GBA analyst and just a cool dude and pretty well known in the draft community. So let's just get right into it. He's going to lead off with his Passimian, as I decided to lead off with my Pelipper. Now, I led off with Pelipper because it led off well against about 5 out of 6 of his mons. The only thing it had a bad lead matchup against was the Jolteon, so fortunately for me, he leads off with Passimian, which is fighting in normal. If you don't know, I kind of had to Google it. But he's going to go for the U-turn, and he's going to go out into his best check to a defensive Pelipper that can't get Scald, Burned, or Toxic, and that's his Kamala, and that's because it has Comatose, which doesn't let it get statused. But I'm not a normal Pelipper. This is a Choice Specs Pelipper, and that was a Choice Specs Hurricane. Had I gone for the Hydro Pump there, I would have definitely been able to 8KO this thing, but I know these things run Wish Protect, and I didn't want to just mess around with that, and I did want to try and get the opportunity to get my Scizor Mega Evolved early, but he is going to make a good play and go right for the U-turn, being able to get some momentum on me, as now he's able to bring in whatever he wants against my Scizor, and he is going to choose to bring in his Primarina, which is very scary because this thing has a fantastic special attack stat, and it's in the rain, and I don't have good water resist on this team that can hit this thing hard back. So I'm going to go into my Starmie here, and he's going to miss a Hydro Pump. Now that's unfortunate. If he was Modest Choice Specs, then he had a very good chance to knock me out, but because I'm able to dodge it, I get to fire off a Thunderbolt, and then after that Life Orb hit, he is actually going to be a spec set, and he's just going to be able to knock me out. I believe it was a 75% chance for him to kill me with Hydro Pump when I switched in, so that was really unfortunate. I didn't need the Thunderbolt damage, but it definitely helped. I would have had to play differently around it, but now I can just drop into my Garchomp and click Earthquake, and by clicking Earthquake here, he still doesn't know what set I am. I could be anything for all he knows. He knows I'm not Mega, most likely, but I am a Swords Dance set, and I do have Groundium Z, so I have Tectonic Rage. I thought that'd just be kind of a cool, fun thing to do. He's going to go into his Reuniclus here, and I'm just going to go ahead and set up a Swords Dance, because the only way he could knock me out would be if he was Life Orb 8 offensive set with HP Ice, most likely, and that just doesn't make too much sense because you'd more likely want to be running something like Hidden Power Fire if you had it. So he goes for the Psyshock, and that looks like it's just defensive Reuniclus damage, as I'm going to now fire off the Earthquake and do big damage to this thing. I could have gone for the Tectonic Rage there and just knocked out this Reuniclus, but Reuniclus is a non-threat to me because it's defensive. I see it as an opportunity for both my Mimikyu and my Mega Scizor to set up against it, so I felt like Earthquake there was fine, and also in the case they switched out, I didn't want to burn my Tectonic Rage in the case that I really needed to get an OHKO on something or a huge hit off on something. So this is fine because I force it out, and he's going to sack off his Kamala so that he can get in his Jolteon, which is most certainly going to have Hidden Power Ice. Now Jolteon is a very big threat to my team. I do not have anything that can take 2 of the correct hits against it, but in this situation, I have a +2 Garchomp up, and unless Berk is going to be extremely aggressive here, he's going to go for the HP Ice, and that means I can go out into my Scizor, which is not yet Mega Evolved, so it's not as bulky, but that doesn't matter because Hidden Power Ice from this Jolteon, as I do predict correctly, is not going to be doing much. And now I had 2 options here. I could have gone for the Roost and just healed off any damage that a Volt Switch or Thunderbolt would have done, or I could go for the U-turn, which is what I'm going to do because I'm running an offensive team and he has limited switch-ins to a fair bit of mons on my team, so he's going to Volt Switch out. It's going to do a fair bit of damage to me. I am max HP Scizor, but that is a Life Orb Jolteon, and Jolteon is relatively strong, and he is going to go out into his Passimian right here to resist my Bug move, as I do go for the U-turn. So now I am in range of another electric move from his Jolteon, but that's okay because I still have that Bullet Punch to get off damage. So I'm going to go into my Como-O right here, and this is a Choice Banded set, and I think my better play probably would have been to just go into Pelipper, because this was probably my best answer, my only thing to take a hit because I was at full, but I still have a plan to deal with Jolteon, and I did want to show off Como as I go for the Choice Banded Dragon Claw after I chew a close combat and knock out his thing. So all he has left is this Jolteon, Reuniclus at low health, and an Alolan Marowak. So now I have nothing to switch into this because I don't want him to predict my Scizor now and knock it out. So I'm just going to let my Como die. I didn't need it for anything at this point. And part of my plan with Scizor now is, because he has Life Orb, he's whittling himself down, so I'm going to help him whittle himself down a little more by clicking Bullet Punch right here and getting some chip damage off on him. And with this Bullet Punch damage plus the subsequent Life Orb damage from this Volt Switch that's going to knock me out, is that he is now in range of a Shadow Sneak from Mimikyu, and even if he's not in range of a right now, I can potentially force him to take more Life Orb recoil by using up my disguise. So he's going to go out into his Reuniclus right here. Now I could have gone into either my Garchomp or my Pelipper, but I needed Pelipper or Garchomp more, I felt like, for the Alolan Marowak. Well, it actually didn't matter. I could have gone into either one, because what would have happened is one of them would have knocked out this Reuniclus, then Jolteon would have killed it, and then I'd have the other thing to knock out Marowak. But Pelipper's cool. I'm going to go for a Spec Scald, and in the rain that is going to knock out this Reuniclus. I didn't want to risk the Hydro Pump right there because allowing him to heal up could have been annoying. But he's going to go into his Jolteon right now, and I'm fine just letting my Pelipper go down to this Volt Switch, because since he went for the Volt Switch, that essentially is going to secure my victory, because all he can go out into is the Alolan Marowak, which is going to guarantee that my Garchomp gets a knockout right here, and then all he is going to have left is one Mon that's most likely going to be his Jolteon, and it's in range of my Shadow Sneak from Mimikyu. So this should be the game. I go into my Garchomp, and I'm going to click the button. I've never actually I didn't see Tectonic Rage in-game before this point, because when I was grinding in the battle tree with this Mon, I had it with no animations because I wanted to get through it faster. But I see Tectonic Rage for the first time during this battle, and dang, it looks so cool. So I'm going to be able to easily just one-hit KO this Marowak. There's nothing it can do unless there's Shuckaberry, I guess, but it's going to be absolutely obliterated by the Tectonic Rage from my Garchomp, and all he has left is a Jolteon, which is not going to have the ability to knock out both my Garchomp and my Mimikyu before he dies himself. So he's going to go for the Shadow Ball and take out my Garchomp, and all he has left is one Life Orb hit, and I do have my Mimikyu. Now I could have styled on him, tried something, and let him die to Life Orb, but I wanted Mimikyu to get a kill, so I'm just going to go ahead and click Shadow Sneak and knock out the Jolteon. So that's going to be a 1-0 victory in my favor. This was a really fun game, got a little lucky on my side with the Hydro Pump miss, but overall enjoyable first Wi-Fi battle competitively, so that's cool. Make sure to go check out Berk, he's a cool guy. I'll leave his links down below. Thanks for watching, make sure to leave some love on this video, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.